Shalom, shalom. I hope the tribe as well. Do appreciate you coming to my live, my video, whatever time you happen to get into it. This ain't gonna be a long video. I just wanted to get to the Urban Dictionary, the slanguage, if you will. And all of these words and the meaning, slogans we come up with for our people in this community, like thought, ratchet. Now we're using Pookie and Ray Ray. And then the one that you see all the time when you get certain kind of brothers that are viewed as simp, like they're letting women get away with certain shit, and they're not being dominant or controlling, their platforms or controlling the women how other men seeing fit. So you have the simp. Now, I don't like any of these words, really. I don't like them, but I'm guilty for using them, so that would kind of make me like kind of a hypocrite, right? So I try not to use words like ratchet, thought, all these words. And I really try to stay away from ghetto because I really don't like that shit. And then a lot of people really misuse the word. Like they don't even know that you're not really in the ghetto because you come from a poverty-stricken town or a poverty-stricken neighborhood. The real ghetto will eat your little ass alive. So we're always using we're using these terms. We're not using these terms properly. What's going on, King? So, and I can see all the comments now because I'm using the recorder thing. I personally, like I said, stay away from these words. But I noticed that a lot of brothers and sisters, if you will, I should say melanated folks in this community and in this sector use these words against one another. But we don't like it when other nations use this shit. So I'm really confused by this shit. Now what inspired this video was I was on some dude's channel, one of those women hating, gotta be superior alpha male minded, channels. And it was over some sister named Paris Milan. And yes, correct, brother, correct. So this video was really inspired over the sister Paris Milan. So if y'all don't know Paris Milan is, I believe she's a pro-black. I'm really not quite sure yet, but it was inspired by her. So this video is not really about her, but it's interesting that we throw these terms around, but we don't like when a white man does it. So let's look at the whole definition of simp, right? Let's just go over the definition of simp. And quick disclaimer, YouTube, I'm not trying to use vile language to use vile language. Whatever you see on the screen, this is all for educational purposes. Okay. Quick disclaimer, YouTube. Don't give me a strike. So, we have suckers. Idolizing, mediocre. We have pussy, basically someone who gives redundant and over the top attention to women that are far less value then the attention or praise given. Usually the recipient of this praise is knowledge of this and taking full advantage of knowing this fact. The term sucker is the main attribute and usually the result in the pending downfall, of this kind of man. Okay. So you're a sucker and you're a pussy because you're giving women attention? Or a woman that's far less? Okay, let me ask this shit. How do you gauge if a woman is far less than you? Because from what I hear on this sector, every woman seems to be far less than a man. And I don't mean like in physical stature. I mean from what I'm seeing, every woman to all these alpha males on this shit are far less. So I don't really get this whole definition of simp, but we can continue. I don't really get that. Cause who is one to gauge that? If you talking to a woman and she's up there with you mentally, she's up there with you spiritually, just y'all mesh, how can you devalue that one, or how could you even put a value on her mind and even her, just even her as a person? Who are you to do that? Who is anybody to do that, right? So a man that puts himself in a subservient submission position under women in hopes of winning them over without the female bringing anything to the table. That sounds more like an idiot than a simp. Because why would you mess with somebody that won't bring anything? And I think we should be in our traditional roles anyway, so a man should be bringing shit to the table. Now, according to this, that would make me a simp because a female wouldn't be bringing shit to the table. But if we're talking about traditional roles, isn't the man supposed to bring the shit to the table? I'm curious. I get it. I totally get it. You don't want no woman to just leech off you, but I think a woman don't want no man to leech off her as well. So, what about traditional roles? I don't get it. You work, you bring the food to the table. She has maybe a little part-time job or something. You bring the food home, she cooks it. I mean, it's got to be, it's got to be a give and take, because what you're reading here is kind of saying that a woman has to bring half of what you're bringing. And that's not really how the traditional roles should be working. As a man, you're supposed to bring everything to your woman and your family, and you're supposed to do it the best you can. Some men might not be in a position to do that, but when you read this, you get a totally different view of what the relationship roles, the gender roles are supposed to be, particularly in this community. When you're reading that, so it says a man that puts too much value on a female for no reason. That's dumb as shit, because all females have a value and all females have a reason. They have a purpose. We all have a purpose, even men. So I don't understand that. A man that prides himself with chivalry in hopes of getting sexual gratification from women. Well, when you see a lot of these, alpha men, the gay ass manosphere, if you will, surrounded by nothing but dicks, and they're always talking about, pumping and dumping and just fucking. I'm not understanding that. So you're okay with just fucking women, but you're not okay with being in the role, playing the role, the man role, with being with a woman. I don't get that shit. But then that would show a lot on the women's part that's fucking with those dudes over there that want to be just pump and dump. So I find that one kind of strange as well. But then again, I'm already like, what, 1 for 2, 1 for 4. I might got all of them probably, I think. A square with no game other than rolling out the red carpet for every female. Perfect example of a simp man would be the role Eddie Murphy played in the movie Norbit. Huh. Okay. Okay. But how else are you going to get a woman though if you don't approach her and woo her? I mean, you guys sit here and talk about the caliber of woman and the quality of woman, but if you just saying a few words and you get her, she's a hoe, she a thought, she got mileage. But if you have to put a little work in to get a quality woman that hasn't been ran through, according to y'all, and this shit right here, I don't get that shit. That would make you a simp, man. Wouldn't that make you? Wouldn't that make you low? Wouldn't that make you a dude that's going for women that love low quality? Then that would make you a simp, man, wouldn't it? Because if you put a high quality on the women you approach, you shouldn't be in that. That's interesting. Simp, a man who puts women on a pedestal when she clearly doesn't deserve it. He thinks all women are victims and they barely do anything. They barely do any wrong. He usually does this to gain favor with women, aka try to have sex with her. Most simps grow up in a single mother home and family is mostly dominated by women. So since he had close to zero men to look up to growing up, he began relating and sympathizing more with women. Wow. That sounds like some Tariq Nasheed shit right there. That sounds like the very same reason why it's a lot of dudes over at Tariq shit, because they look at him like a father, because they probably never had a father or some shit like that. This is crazy. This is crazy. For example, a woman can have slept with half of her coworkers, and instead of labeling her a hoe, he will say something along the lines of "She is a good woman." Could it be? Could it be? Maybe he sees something in her that maybe you don't. Maybe he messes with her. Maybe she has a personality that he like. But see, that'll make me a simp for saying some shit like that. Damn, these simp rules, man, crazy. Man, the dude's girlfriend cheated on him twice and he's still doing her. He is a simp. Well, yeah, I would have to leave there. I wouldn't want to be in no situation like that. That's why you gotta have communication. Communication, you will never be in that situation to begin with. But that's like somebody's personal choice. There are dudes that sleep, that cheat on their women, and that's pretty much, that's their personal decision. If she wants to stay with him after he cheats, that's her decision. If he want to stay with her after she cheats, that's his decision. We can give these people advice, but at the end of the day, it's their decision if they want to be with them. That's pretty much you putting your own worth, you putting your own self worth on the line, basically. Guys chasing women who already have 2 to 3 to 4 baby daddies, and the guys think that they have hit the jackpot. Okay, but once again, that's his choice. I couldn't care less. If it works for him, so be it. I could care less. one guy makes a comment about women and other guys get their panties in a bunch. So all these things, all this shit is everything you see on YouTube. Cause I really don't want to go through this shit anymore. This shit is depressing and shit. It's like if you're a grown ass man and you need other men's approval for everything you do, everything you see, there's something wrong with you. It's not it's not it's not the woman's fault that you seek approval from other men to be a man. And because other men may not give a fuck what other men think, that makes him a simp. I think the problem with our community sometimes is that we just don't get this shit. We honestly think shit like this belongs in our community, like simping, thoughts, ratchet, all these terms. You don't see no other group doing this shit. When you see Hispanic men with Hispanic women, they can give them a compliment. They can be over there, even in real life. You could give them. They can give each other compliments and shit. They're not simping. They not. Now I get it. There are some dudes that get ran over by women, and to me, that's a no-no because it gives women a bad. It gives women power that over that man, and that they think that they might have power over all men, and it sets a bad precedent. But at the same time, like creating these labels and shit, these simps, pookies, and right rays, it's like we giving cracker supremacy a bigger tool and more like intel to fight y'all and keep us at each other's throats and keep us at bay. Even, the swirling term. It's like, if you want to date outside your shit, just date outside your shit. We shouldn't have to have names for what a motherfucker do. I don't understand that. If it don't work, if it doesn't work for you and it's not fit for you, then so be it. But don't knock the next person. It's just like that Dwayne Wade and Sierra. That guy, I think his name is Russell Wilson, I believe, a football player. And he dated Sierra after she had a baby with Future, and he's looked upon as a simp. I don't get that shit. Why? If she appeals to him and he wants to date her, and we're talking about high caliber people, we're talking about people that got money. He got a lot of money. She got a lot of money. So if he wants her, it's something that she has that other women don't have, and he likes that. Maybe he's attracted to her personality or some shit. I think we get too caught up with this shit, and it usually be people that probably can't get a woman in real life, so they flock to the internet to clown them or some shit, to relive their childhood or some shit, or to you know get some brownie points with all the other pussyless dudes on here that are supposedly alpha male. And then we have the alpha male. So the alpha male on here is the one that's supposedly calling all the shots and this and that. And they're the ones that's calling out the supposedly simps. But we just read what simps are. We're looking at the definition of what a simp is. So it's basically just letting a woman run all over you. So what if you're not letting women run all over you, but you appreciate them? You dig what I'm saying? So basically, some dude called me out basically because I commented on a thread of a sister a sister's comment, I believe, and she said that Paris Milan is a gorgeous sister. She's very attractive. I said I believe that's a attractive young sister. So then you get all these comments pouring in like, "Oh, you a simp for giving a woman a compliment." I think we got to a point where we taking this YouTube shit like this shit is like our second childhood or some shit. Like we like on the playground or some shit. Like it's crazy. I never seen so many grown ass men getting a shit over complimenting and uplifting women. I never seen that shit before. And no, I'm not letting the bullshit and the fuckery that they do go past. Or just they get a pass for the shit. I'm not doing that. But at the same time, I'm not gonna make 4 hour live streams about some woman that I don't even know. I'm not gonna make 8 hour streams about what a woman do and what I feel she says. That don't make any sense. Unless I personally know her and had conversations with her and understand her way of thinking, I could come out and make a video. But it damn sure wouldn't be no 4 hour video. Like, it's just crazy, man. It's like some of these dudes are obsessed with these alpha male roles, these simp roles, these. It's like, what the fuck do you do in your real life? Because I don't think anybody is walking around with this alpha male complex and this simp complex, though. If you see a pretty sister, you can give her a compliment. That's the normal shit. If I see a pretty woman in real life, I compliment her. That doesn't mean you're a simp. That doesn't mean I'm giving her a pass for all the fuckery. That's some bullshit. That's another way and another tactic that a lot of these pussyless dudes on YouTube with this fake ass alpha male IQ shit pull to for views and all type of shit so they can bring in more hateful ass men that probably wasn't getting no pussy in high school. Probably wasn't doing shit. Look at somebody like Dookie Face O'Shea. You know he wasn't getting no pussy in high school, but because he found himself a niche on YouTube, he could be the man to other fatherless men. Like this shit said, that looks up to cats like that. Or Tariq. And that will make them supposedly alpha males on here. So you basically got a group of men calling each other the manosphere and we gotta be around a whole bunch of men. That shit is crazy. What is that, like one of those little tree houses and shit where you can't have women come in, you can't, no girls allowed and shit? Like that shit is weird. Only certain kind of girls, certain kind of women that think they're not being talked shit about because they inviting you on platforms and hangouts and shit. So, oh, I'm different because I'm on that shit when they really talking shit about you. It's crazy as fuck. And then, you have these swirling ass women that swear that everybody, every other nation of men want to date them, but then you ignore all the hate shit, all the hate comments that they got for you. You ignore the fact that if they ain't fucking with you, they punching your ass in these videos. But every other nation fucks with you. So we walking around in this illusion that everybody wants to fuck with us, man. It's like even these dudes, like I said, you could go around the world and get yourself a Dominican. You could go to the Dominican Republic. You can go everywhere around the world. But they already got their men. The women already got their men. The men already got their women. We the only group that's uplifting other nations of women and other nations of men. We the only group that do that. And then we come with this silly shit with these dumbass words like thought, ratchet, and simp and shit. We the only group that do that shit. And we do that shit on a daily. And now we bringing back that stupid ass Pookie and Ray Ray shit, which I don't like that shit. I don't like ghetto. I don't like that shit. I don't use that shit. But I get it. Sometimes it explains some shit. But we have to get out of that shit. We have to get out of these words and start reinventing ourselves. Quick. We need to start reinventing our culture and taking back our culture. We letting these words define us and shit. You shouldn't be no simp because you compliment your own women. And you shouldn't be a thought because you had maybe some, some sexual encounters with a man in the past. That's crazy. And I'm not at all excusing anybody's behavior. I think we both groups, both genders, do the shit. Do enough shit that both genders need to be corrected. Both genders need to reassess what our role is to be played in this community. And stop blaming one another for everything. And stop coming up with these stupid ass terms in this day and age when these pigs are killing your ass. White women lying on your ass. White men killing your ass. But you worried about what's on the woman's head. I don't understand this shit. Since when the fuck did grown ass alpha men give a fuck what's on a female's head or makeup? And you already know the woman or the sister that I'm talking about. I don't really like her. I don't like her shit because she toxic. But at the same time, I could give two fuck about what's on her head. That ain't why I don't like her. I can give a fuck if a sister chooses to wear weave. I prefer natural. I prefer the afro or the locks. But I'm not going to sit here and make countless videos of some woman's hair and makeup. That's some fucking woman shit. That's some straight female shit. And that's supposed to be an alpha man, an alpha male. That's supposed to be a man that's leading these little fucking boys, these little fucktards on here, making lives and hangouts about a woman's makeup, bro. A woman's hair. Who gives a fuck? You should be worrying about how she is and how she conducts herself. And how she handles the pressure. I can give two fucks, a billion, of what's on this woman's face. What's on this woman's head. Because I ain't talking about dating her. And I'm not talking about simping for her. You don't have to date every woman you talk to. You don't have to date every woman you look at on a video. We got a mindset where we look at a sister on here. It's like, oh, I wouldn't date that. I wouldn't touch that. She has makeup. She has a wig on. Oh, man. Why it's always got to boil down to that in our community? Why can't it just be, hey, cool video, sister. Cool video, brother. Why it gotta be simps, ratchet, whores, all this shit? Then you gotta make countless dumbass videos about the shit. Countless. Thinking you on some high IQ shit. Meanwhile, You got brothers out here dying, sisters out here dying. We dying from a lot of shit, and we can't come together for 1 second, for 1 minute to just talk about some shit. If you got a problem with somebody, why can't you just talk to them? Or if you feel like you really have to break down somebody on YouTube, why don't you just break it down? Why do you have to be bitches, thoughts, and ratchets? All this shit. And I'm not saying every sister in the community is good. We most definitely got to call out the bad, because that's why our community is like that. But it's men that do bad too. Not every sister on YouTube is some whore and some thought. Not every brother on YouTube thinks with his dick and is a simp and has a bunch of kids and has been railroaded by child support. Because I do realize a lot of these things is what's creating a lot of anger for us and a lot of beef and a lot of tension, because of the brothers feel like the child support is like some type of, slavery, like a new invented type of slavery within, the relationships with the woman, with the sister. And then the sisters feel like the men ain't shit, they ain't doing shit. That's ills within our community. That shit we should be discussing amongst ourselves. And I know some of us do, but you gotta understand there are other nations watching. There are other nations listening, and they're capitalizing on this shit. They're capitalizing on all our ills, all our egos, because we so egotistical. We so prideful that we don't even really realize that there are white people watching. These are public forums, so that means there's all types of life watching. So while they're doing that, they're stealing your culture, they're stealing your identity, and now y'all want to complain that white women are stealing your shit. Now y'all want to complain that somebody is stealing your swagger. When you bring it on here for the world to see, you bring all your shit, all y'all horse shit, y'all bring it on here, and then y'all expect shit to change in the real world. Y'all expect shit and people to treat you differently in the real world. If anything, I see why people are treating us worse. Because unfucking fortunately, when y'all act up, that reflects me. Because y'all are a reflection of me. There ain't no individual shit. Not in this community, no. So all these crazy ass motherfuckers, these immature ass, bitch made ass dudes, and these crazy ass fucking women, that's a reflection of me, because they in my community. So it's not, I could just duck out and just be like, well, that's just her, that's just him. Because I know a lot of y'all fuckers do that shit. Y'all think because it ain't you, that you ain't gotta worry about that shit. But everybody in this motherfucker is a reflection of you. That ratchet ass sister, that's a reflection of you. That's a reflection of your community. That's a reflection of our people. So this is why you have a whole lot of nations of men that are always calling us out. Because we are not stepping up as men and controlling our shit. And I don't fucking blame them. I try my best to do for my people. I don't like seeing my people like this shit. And I try to engage in these manners as positive and as mature as I can to get my perspective. Maybe it'll help. But it seems like a lot of this shit that's going on here is just for shit and giggles, for wasting time. A lot of people on YouTube don't really want to see change. That's why we coming up with these stupid ass fucking names. These stupid ass terms, I mean. like Simp, Thought, Ratchet, all this bullshit. But we out here demanding respect. We out here, we want other nations to respect us. How? How they gonna do that when you don't even respect yourself? But yeah, I'm over this shit, man. I hope y'all are cool. I just had to get that shit off my mind, you know. Um, hopefully, man, some shit'll change. Hopefully, all this beef and shit will cease, and we'll just realize that we got bigger fish to fry. We got bigger problems, and those problems need to be addressed. All right, y'all be good, be safe, shalom.